Salve a tutti, sono Almarok e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Jim Mutilator, famoso per essere bassista degli Yoth Iria e per essere stato il bassista anche dei Rotting Christ. Prima di iniziare ringrazio Jim per la sua grande disponibilità, per aver accettato di essere nostro ospite, vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione.
Nice to meet you and thank you for accepting this.
Nice to meet you and I'm happy to be with you.
Me too. Why you started to do music and why you started to do with black metal music? Talk me about the beginning of your career.
I have to return, let's say about 40 years before, in mid 80s, when we started the band in the beginning under the name Black Church, to change it to Rotting Christ around 87. It's hard to answer why we choose to play black metal. I don't know why. It was a call from the hell. I don't know how to explain it. And I think that we were different kids, that we had chosen a different way of life. And black metal was in our childish eyes something really revolutionary, something different. We weren't the kind of kids that we could accept the standard of 80s society with disco clubs, etc. We really were, let's say, we were kind non-social kids from our nature. So I think my participation with black metal and let's say extreme metal, because those days black metal wasn't exist like a term, we call it death metal, thrash metal, let's say, anyway. But this came to me easily because I couldn't fit in that day's society.
Can you talk to me about Non Serviam, the recording of the album, and your memories about this?
Non Serviam released back in '94, 1 year after our debut album, Thy Mighty Contract, and was recorded in our own studio, Storm Studios, ownership of me and Saki Stolis. We spent a lot of times in our studios. Actually, studio was like our home, as all the day we spent in the studio, just drinking beers, maybe smoking some cigarettes, and having fun with friends, but also creating tracks for the album Non Serviam. It's a bit sad story because after Thy Mighty Contract, we had broken streets with Osmos Production. Some bad things happened between me and Osmos Productions. So we had, let's say, to Rotting Christ had to make a new beginning with a Greek label called Unisound. Of course, Unisound was the label that printed back in '91 our debut mini album, if you remember, called Passage to Arcturus. And but Unisound wasn't a label with worldwide distribution, so it was like we did some steps back, but we don't care so much that time of period about fame, etc. But as I realized, Rotting Christ, already back those days, we had built a very strong relationships with some very, very fanatic people all over the world, that Rotting Christ were very big in their eyes. I think those old fans was the basic reason Rotting Christ to step on them and build a big career in black metal. But to be honest, Non Serviam is an exceptional album. Maybe I don't know if it's better than Thy Mighty Contract. If you want my personal opinion, it's not. I prefer Thy Mighty Contract. But still, Non Serviam, like a motto, for example, Non Serviam, it's very, very strong because the fans of Rotting Christ use it in every simple word, Non Serviam, Non Serviam. So it's a legendary album released 30 years before, and still Non Serviam has a big effect into the fans all over the world.
Why after Non Serviam, Rotting Christ decided to change and to make a new gothic sound in the sound of the band?
I don't think after Non Serviam, Rotting Christ changed to more gothic paths because, in my opinion, Trarch of the Lost Lovers, it's a totally heavy black album. Nothing to do, in my opinion, with gothic stuff. But of course, everybody can has his own opinion and his own taste of how the album sound to him. But in my opinion, Trarch of the Lost Lover, it's the best album I have ever be participated. And for me, it's far away to be named like Gothic album. And I think that like taste, maybe I can say that I can call myself like a black metal boy concerning the ideology, but musically I was totally into traditional heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, etc. And all of these of our influences came into Trarch of the Lost Lovers. Of course, don't to be exaggerated. I really respect a lot of black metal bands. I have tons of favorite black metal albums, but our grown up into classic heavy metal, let's say unique Greek black metal sound that for me, Hellenic black metal, especially created by us like Rotting Christ, it's quite different from Scandinavian black metal as we are more oriented into more melodic formulas and in more heavy metal forms. So to finish this with Trarch of Lost Lovers, I totally disagree. It's a gothic album. It's a totally a heavy metal combined with black metal tunes album.
So, talk about Yoth Iria.
Believe it or not, after my departure from Rotting Christ, I had in mind to create my new band. Something totally different from what we did with Rotting Christ, and do it totally in my own self, like a solo project. Unfortunately, although I started making music in mid of 2000, about 2007, 2008, I started composing tracks. It took me more than a decade to form Yoth Iria. Finally, it happened because Yoth Iria, for me, it's not only a band, it's my personal vision for my personal beliefs. And let's say Yoth Iria, it's the mirror of my, let's say, having some fun. It's the mirror of my chaotic life. You know, as I remember my life from the age of 10 years old and after, my life was full of energy, but still full of chaos, full of violence, but still full also positive things, not only negative things. So Yoth Iria, it's for me a lot more than a band. Yoth Iria, it's my personal demon and angel, let's say.
About the new album of the band?
It will be called Blazing Inferno. Will be released in November 8, 24. I think it's more simple concerning As the Flame Withers, as I don't try to be so complicated in the compositions. I wanted something melodic and with a feeling of the old days of music. Maybe some people think that there are some parts that remains old rotting Christ, like Track of the Lost Lovers. But to be honest, I can't avoid this kind of influence. It's the way I realized the music. So I don't think that I'm a genius musician and I have a particularly way of making music. And I think the tracks maybe sounds quite simple to the ears, but I think that they have a lot of feeling. And I believe that most of the fans of Yoth Iria will not be disappointed. But let's say the people and the fans will judge if it's a good album or not.
Which is your definition of black metal? And how it is concerned with your life philosophy?
Okay, this is a good question, and it's also a bit hard to answer because there are such different opinions about black metal out there. For me, black metal has a specific meaning. It's now I'm 53, but for me, black metal is that there are demons out there, and for me, they are not the demons, the evil of this world, but all the other religions that rule the world, like Christians, Muslims, and all these shits. So we started a war back in the 80s, and we say fuck off all these garbages, Christians, Muslims, and all the religions. We want to think about Lucifer, Satan, devil, and all the demons, because all these demons are the true friends of humanity. So for me, this is the meaning of black metal. But of course, as I told you, I have mentioned that out there are a lot of people that listen to black metal only for the music, and they believe, for example, in Christ. Okay, of course, I can respect every man's opinion, because for me, to be a Luciferian man, it's about freedom. It's about the true light and the true knowledge. So I can accept all of these theories. But for me, like a man that I really support all my life, the demonic world, black metal, it's about the respect to demons, that they are the true supporters of the simple man. This is simple. And of course, I know there were a lot of people that even they play black metal and they don't believe the subjects. Okay. And they did it just because they are non-Christians, anti-religious, and let's say atheists. For me, it's the certain point. It's that there are all the demons, and I want to sing for them and to be in their parts. That's all.
An advice for who want to be a musician nowadays, and how is difficult to become a musician nowadays, respect to when you have started?
I think that nowadays it's a lot easier for someone to create music, to make it known, because there are a lot of social media like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, blah blah, to make it easier. Back in the days, we did it totally by our hearts, because it was very very difficult to make it this happen fast. But to be honest, we were so extremely dedicated in this kind of life, because as I told you, for us, black metal, for me, let's talk for myself, of course, okay. This was totally very very important for my life, and to be honest, we had created an inner circle, let's say, with some guys from Norway, like guys like Euronymous, that really supported this kind of music with very very big passion. So making had creating this inner circle of with some black metal kids like us, we make strong connections with a lot of people all over the world, and I think everybody could understood it that although it was very old days with not high technology, and we accepted a lot of respect, because the people, the fans, the friends understood how true we were with our beliefs. Of course, there were a lot of bands those days that were really dedicated like us. Bands from all over the world. Some of them nowadays they are very very big, or maybe they have changed their minds and just care for fame, etc. But those old days, I can name a lot of dedicated bands all over the world. We like to change opinions, to change music, and very very important, we supported each other. That was the meaning of first days of black metal, that the bands we existed, we really support each other. Nowadays, I think that the musicians, maybe I go a bit different now to your question, but I notice that most of the bands care for music and to be better from each other. It's in my mind, in my eyes, it's like a competition, and of course, this is not for me black metal. Okay, black metal, it's not competition. It's something very very esoteric and very very something very strong.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying here today. Good luck for your projects.
Good luck, my friend. Nice to meet you. Take care. Bye. Bye.